Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. True colors show. Infidelity. What did I ever see in this woman? She is pure evil. I suspected for a long time she was having an affair with a coworker. I found evidence in text messages. Things they've done together, what they want to do together, lies they tell so they can meet. It's all there in black and white. I have screenshots of everything and lawyered up the next day. I filed on grounds of adultery. We have 2 kids, 17 and 12, and I want full custody. I do everything for them now as it is, and they would choose to stay with me in a heartbeat. She's verbally abusive, not just to me but to them too. I confronted her with the evidence and swore they were only inside jokes. The only inside joke was the part about her telling him how good he feels inside her. She was served papers this week and then got her own lawyer. They countered saying no adultery was committed. I'm sure she didn't tell her lawyer about the evidence I have, and she wants full custody, alimony, and the house. I am the primary breadwinner, have always paid all the bills and let her spend her money on whatever. We are both still in the house and pet my lawyer. I'm trying to take the high road. Tonight I tried to talk to her about kid stuff and she was just mean and agitated at me. I told her that we need to be civil. She said, "Why? You did this to us. You filed for divorce under alimony. I'm going to be ruined." I replied, "You did this. You're the one that stepped out of our marriage," she said, "Yeah, and it was fun and felt so good. I hate her." She got caught and now she has to deal with the consequences of her bad decisions. She's salty AF about it. If you're going to be in the same house, prepare yourself for more of this kind of thing. I am sorry to hear you are going through this. I recall someone telling me back in August that you never really know someone until you divorce them. It was true for me and sounds like it is for you. Being the bigger and more grown-up person is important, and I hope you stay strong. I genuinely wish you good luck. Thank you. Yes, my eyes are wide open now to past events and how she mistreated me for so many years. I've been at her beck and call all 18 years of marriage, but no more. Did you come out okay? Not yet, but that's a really complicated and pretty sad story that's still being written. It does all seem to come out better in the end though, from the posts I've seen. Hang in there, my friend. The only inside joke was the part about her telling him how good he feels inside her. LOL. Yay. Say it wasn't you. Shaggy. Greater than she wants full custody, alimony, and the house. Full custody, no way. Alimony, ask your attorney. Infidelity may play. Even if it doesn't, she may not want it shown. However, in many states, her bad behavior may not matter. And you're going to pay. That's just the dirty little secret of how this works when your wage-earning betrayed spouse. And frankly, if she's the stay-at-home spouse, significant custody may be an uphill battle. You need to stop talking with her directly and debating fault. That never works with someone like this. Agree. The shitty thing is she keeps baiting me. My lawyer said I would not have to pay alimony with the evidence I have. She works full-time plus has a side business that keeps her busy on weekends. Or gives her an excuse to screw around. She works full-time plus has a side business that keeps her busy on weekends. Sounds to me like she might owe you alimony. And you probably own 50% of her business. Sorry man, been there. Glad you're out of the alimony deal. My advice, do not engage with her. Nothing good can come of it. Use the attorney, it'll calm down, but it takes a while. If she's the type to get vindictive, when she figures out what she's not getting, consider having your phone recording any time you meet with her alone. Orders of protection are really hard to deal with if you have kids, and the abuse card is sometimes inappropriately played by a vindictive spouse. Be careful. She lied a lot, so it's reasonable to think she'd continue to lie. I agree. Proceed with extreme caution. Cohabiting. While you don't want to move out, because that can be construed as abandonment, someone who cheats on you is not necessarily beyond a false abuse charge, and that can make your life even more hell than it already is. I'd consider setting up cameras to record interactions. You can take the high road and do everything right, but that doesn't prevent her from making false claims. I think that putting up cameras in the house would perhaps be an escalation and is obvious. Turning on a voice recorder on the phone is easy. Recording video out of a phone in your shirt pocket is easy. Just be careful of. Working full-time is good for you, but if there's still a discrepancy with regard to incomes, you may need to fight alimony anyway. Custody, decision-making, and parenting time should be fairly easy to split whether she fights or not. At your kids' ages, a judge should take their wishes into account. The operative word is should, however. Are you in a fault state? If not, infidelity is irrelevant. Alimony will be based on income and length of marriage. Have you talked to your kids? Do they know what's going on? I'm in an at fault state. Kids know we are divorcing. Don't know the reason why. They took the news amazingly well. Dealing with hate and resentment. Need support. Need help coping with hatred and resentment. Warning, long post. I wish I could go no contact, but we have a 17-year-old and 13-year-old together. I, 45M, discovered my wife's, 42F, affair with a coworker in October. I suspected it for a long time and had accused her multiple times of an emotional affair. She always would dismiss it. She had left her FB Messenger open and I discovered it was much more than that. We had been in a dead bedroom situation for months with her pulling away from me every time I showed any affection. She always had issues dealing with stress, any little thing would set her off and she would take it out on me and the kids. So I always tried to keep the peace by doing all the housework myself, paying all the bills myself and taking care of the kids. She came and went as she pleased and took me for granted. The more she pulled away from me, the harder I tried to make it work. When I discovered the affair evidence, I screenshot everything. Then I just walked out my door and kept walking. I barely remember it. I ended up about 2 miles away and then started getting texts from her asking me where I was. I responded with all of the screenshots and said, now I finally know the truth. She gaslighted me. She tried to call but I didn't answer. She texted that they were just joking, they never did anything. Blah blah. I then sent all of the info to her AP's fiancé. She was friends with my wife as well. But not anymore. Within seconds, my wife found this out and immediately started texting me blaming me for ruining her AP and fiancé's relationship. She had no concern or remorse at all for me or for ruining her own 18-year marriage. I was still walking. I kept walking and made it back home really late. Laid on the couch and didn't sleep at all. The next morning she got up and was ready like nothing happened and went to work. With her AP. I retained a lawyer that day and filed under grounds of adultery. I had her served at work in front of everyone. It's a very small office. She became irate and continued to blame shift and gaslight me. After a couple of days, we sat the kids down and told them. Well, I did all the talking. They took it amazingly well. In the following days, I got trickle truths and she even said it was fun and felt good. Nice. A few days later, on my daughter's 17th birthday, my daughter was homesick from school. She stayed home alone. My wife came home around 2 p.m. and started yelling, screaming, and throwing things at my daughter, accusing her of skipping school. She knew she was homesick. My daughter feared for her life and texted me in panic. I left work and called 911 on my way home. The police got there before me, but my wife was already gone. They took my daughter's statements. The things she told my daughter were unimaginable. To say my daughter was devastated is an understatement. My SBXW came home after work and packed her things to stay with a family member. That's where she has been for a little over a month now. It's been wonderful not having her here. The kids are doing great. I got my daughter into therapy once a week and that is going well. She has had zero contact with my SBXW since those events on her birthday. My SBXW filed a ridiculous counter for full custody, huge child support, me taking all the marital debt, and she taking half of what little assets we have. I can't sleep or eat just because of the hatred I have. I am trying my best to take the high road and let her bury herself. But I can't focus on work or anything else. I am also seeing a therapist which helps, but the hatred I have for her consumes me. I have every right to feel the way I do, but I don't want to continue like this. You are doing all the right things. Keep up with how you are handling the situation. You are the adult now since your ex is unable to. And get someone, a therapist, a friend, FWB that you can talk to. Yes. Thank you so much. You handled this amazingly well, dude, seriously. Exposing her was brilliant. That is how all cheaters should be exposed. Let her make a fool of herself. You keeping on, brother. We are here for support whenever you want. Thank you, this community is awesome. Congratulations. You were a single parent anyway. You and the kids walking on eggshells around her. Focus on your children and yourself. Her loss. She will one day regret what she did to you guys. But it may be a while. Be strong for the kids, they are watching and one day may need to know what to do in a similar situation. They can learn from you. What she did was horrid, but you absolutely handled everything right. A more flustered or angry spouse might have forgotten to screenshot the messages, or wouldn't have called the cops and gotten a statement. But because you did those things, hopefully the divorce goes fully in your favor. Thank you. My lawyer says I have nothing to worry about. But I know she is going to fight it just to fight it. SBXW taking it out on our daughter. Help please. So we've been separated due to her adultery, my fault of course, since October. We have 2 kids and trying my best to go little to no contact as she is a master manipulator and tries to bait me. This has caused her to target our daughter, which upsets me more than finding out she cheated. You can see my previous post, but she called my daughter horrible names, told her to rot in hell on her 17th birthday. My daughter has had no contact since then, which was over a month ago. Today, my daughter texted me from school extremely upset because her mother has been telling lies to her friends' parents about what happened. Telling them my daughter is to blame and that my SBXW did nothing to deserve being pushed away. My daughter received nasty threatening texts from one of her friends. Threatening to beat her up at school, saying she's a horrible person for not talking to her mom. I had to pick my daughter up early because she feared for her safety. I took all of the screenshots and sent them to the school principal, the board of education, my lawyer, my daughter's therapist, my SBXW, and the parents of this friend in an email. Copied them all. I stated that this is going to stop. I want my SBXW to cease and desist from alienating my daughter. I wanted the school to address the threats. The principal replied just to me and stated he would ensure the threats are addressed. I just can't believe her own mother would do this. She has no remorse for her affair or for what she has done to her own daughter. Go full Papa Bear and protect her. Let her know that you'll take care of it and will help her through that. The ex must be a bit BPD and felt abandonment from her daughter, so she split on her. She is now the bad child, so in her mind her actions are justified. Mine did something similar to my 15-year boy. It is difficult for them, they will believe some of it. Make sure to explain to your daughter what the disorder is and that this is expected behavior. Yes, thanks my friend. I told her I'll take it from here and we are going to get through this together. And be happy that she is 17 and you are not dealing with this when she was 10. Are you allowed to tell 17-year-olds about NPD and flying monkeys? It might help her understand the situation. I don't know if it is a good idea or not. This is beyond my experience. It is just a thought. Flying monkeys is exactly right. I would think this is a great time to get your daughter into therapy if she isn't already. That aside, From a developmental standpoint, 17 is absolutely old enough to understand that some people enjoy causing drama to hurt others, because that dynamic is straight out of high school. That's why her friend fell for it. Her friend is also a teenager, and teenagers are naturally vulnerable to getting sucked into this kind of thing. The difference between her friend and her mother is that her mother is supposed to be old enough to know better. I'm sorry your daughter is going through this, but it's really heartening to know that she has you on her side, and that her principal responded promptly to ensure her safety. Thank you so much. Yes, I have her in therapy. It's bad because my ex's mother is just as awful and kicked my ex out when she was 17. She would tell my daughter all the time that she wanted to be the mother she never had and would never do anything like that to her. But she did. During our relationship, she would talk about how she could never understand why people cheat and she would never do that to me. But she did. It's so sad when family violence repeats itself like this. I am giving some serious side eye to the parents who decided to tell their kid about your ex's accusations. The kid is responding in a predictably inappropriate way, given that the kid is a teenager, but that's exactly why the parents should know better than to gossip to their child like that. Sadly, narcissists aren't the only ones who are developmentally frozen in time. I guess if they were, there would be no ready supply of flying monkeys. Sending virtual hugs to you and your kiddo, 2 hearts. Flying monkeys. I've been doing well with no contact, only communicating regarding kids' schedules. She tries to bait me still, but the longer I go not giving in, the easier it gets. But then I got a letter from her grandmother, telling me I should be ashamed for filing for divorce. I'm a horrible husband. I should try to win her back. I should let her move back in. I should have paid her more attention so that she didn't look elsewhere for it. I should prove that I'm a Christian and forgive her. Gee, maybe you should tell your granddaughter she should have learned to keep her legs closed, you stupid old bitch. Getting it out of my system here because they will not get a response out of me. Nice how grandma knows she cheated on you, but yet it's still your fault. Also, you are such a horrible husband, but yet forgive her and take her back. She must not like her very much if she wants her granddaughter to have such a horrible husband. Senile old bat. Narcissism may be hereditary. Pretty sure it's a set of personality traits that's hereditary, combined with upbringing. I can see the potential in my daughter, but I've taught her to care about others. It didn't come as naturally as my son, but now her teacher pointed out how caring she is and shed a tear. She's 9. I think once the selfishness, pretending and lying sets in, it's almost impossible to come back from, though. Becomes a defense mechanism for fundamentally insecure people. Anyway, in short, yes, she's probably one too. Would you mind pointing me to some worthy literature on this topic if you have any handy, please? I recently found out from my SBXW's dad's ex-wife that his dad used to brutally rape her all the time. There is a reason I'm divorcing. He didn't assault me, but there was extreme sexual deviance always exuding from him. He's absolutely a textbook narc, and I just need to know more, but I just don't have the time to dig as deeply as I'd like. Someone else recommended Dodging Energy Vampires, which I've ordered but hasn't arrived. And lots of people recommend Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. That's awful, I'm so sorry. This is how we know that ends can't own what they've done. Always a victim flipping the gunk back on others. It sounds like you're staying strong, but it's frustrating to be the only one that knows the ends, tricks and lies. Shields up. I'm getting ready for a monkey invasion right now because my STBXN husband is with my kids celebrating the holidays, exchanging gifts today. I know he told his mom and she sent mine a religious card in the mail referencing the tragedy. No telling what bull was being fed since they have all been blocked except snail mail. Hang in there. Wishing you healing and peace. Good luck to you as well. Yeah, all of the in-laws blocked me as well. No telling what stories are told or how the truth has been spun. She has a slew of flying monkeys out there. But it doesn't matter what they say, do, think, or feel. Read that again. It Doesn't matter. You unsuspectingly married into some kind of messed up family. Even Ole Granny is crazier than hell. Good luck to you, you got it together. Your ex's family's words and actions speak volumes about their character. I did laugh when I read what you thought of Crazy Granny, it brought a big grin to my face. Merry Christmas. Yeah, signs were there all along how messed up they are. Merry Christmas to you as well. Rough one today. Infidelity. Been doing okay trying to work through everything and go through the motions of the divorce process. Been thinking I'll be no better off in the long run, yeah, stay positive on kids, yeah, focus on me, yeah. But today for whatever reason I can't get the images of the cheating evidence out of my head. I just want to call her and yell and scream at her. I'm so pissed, like it just happened yesterday. DD was 3 months ago. Maybe it's because it's pouring raining today and I can't go run to get it out of my system. Maybe it's because I know I have to see her tonight at my son's practice. Maybe because I got a bill from my lawyer to replenish the retainer. Getting out here so I won't confront her. Bitch. Yeah, today is a lay in bed all day kind of day for me. I finally processed what he did and how horrible it was. It took me 5 months. I got served with lawyer paperwork today claiming I owe $25,000 for his legal fees. Feeling like I want to die. Hang in there, it's still new and raw. You'll get through this. Just think of what the near future holds. You are young, successful and will be free to start a new chapter in your life. Just because your first wife was a liar and fornicator, doesn't mean it is the end. This is a new beginning. There are so many beautiful, honest and faithful ladies out there in your dating pool. They would love to go out with an honest, successful guy like you. The right girl is out there, you just haven't met her yet. When you do, you will remember what it's like to find an actual sweet lady. As for your ex, she will continue to cheat on whoever she's with. People like her have a mental disorder and it directly affects their character. Sooner or later she will realize F'd up. Wishing you the very best. Bait and more bait. Child therapy. Ex cheated, I filed, then she abused my 17-year-old daughter and moved out. She is constantly messaging me on the parenting app accusing me of lying and making up all kinds of false stories about me to bait me into arguing. She says she has a source to back up whatever insane claims she makes. For example, I am taking my daughter to therapy once a week to help cope with the abuse. She has the nerve to message me demanding that I be at every appointment with her, that it's not healthy that she goes alone. A source has told her that I didn't attend one of the appointments with her and that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that you abused our daughter. It's unacceptable for you to think you have the right to tell me what I should do in regards to taking her to therapy that I pay for, that I schedule and that I started for her healing. Oh, by the way, I am there with her at every appointment and have been her shoulder to cry on at every one. Just when I think she can't get any more delusional, she proves me wrong. I'm not replying. Trying to get her to understand reality is like trying to make a 4-year-old understanding algebra. Can't you report her? I thought by having the family app they, Knox, will stop harassing us. This is likely a situation where he needs to give her enough rope to hang herself. Let her rant and rave in the parenting app. She's just building evidence against herself. My ex likes to make wild accusations via email. Sometimes in court documents too. I just let him go off and forward them to my lawyer. In my case, he wanted occupational rights to our marital home. I forget what the legal term is. He stayed in our marital home and I bought a new home. He got angry that, legally, I had the right to enter the house at any time. So he filed in the courts that he basically physically owns the house legally. I don't lose any equity. In the complaint he said he didn't feel safe. I never went into the house without permission, and that I had to have prior written approval to enter the house. I was astounded that my lawyer agreed without changes. I thought it was ridiculous and petty. She agreed and let it go because it is a paper trail of his pettiness. Basically, if he ever does anything like try to get full custody of the kids, she already has evidence, provided by him no less, that he's petty and unreasonable. Oh, and now whenever I come over, even when they invite me for dinner or for one of our kids' birthdays, I have to text him for permission to go into the house. I won't go in without it. The kids know this too. It was my home for 15 years and now I can't walk into it without his written permission. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. But yes, I see your point where it's just piling more evidence to their pettiness. You're absolutely right. Personally, no matter how much I tend to ignore all his bullying and false accusations, it does tend to get to me. I feel so infuriated and frustrated because I do not want to engage when in reality I just want to scream at the top of my lungs at him and tell him everything I think he is. A sad scumbag narcissist with no conscience. A loser who will one day die alone. And to go and get a life. I'm so mad now. Yeah, they're infuriating. I've gotten to a better place. It's taken a while. But now I mostly laugh at his ridiculousness and pathetic attempts to upset me. I'm sorry you're going through this and glad you're helping your daughter cope. This pathetic game playing with therapy is quite a popular tactic, it seems, but it doesn't seem like it's working at all. You're away from the daily abuse and both you and your daughter can heal and be open about things. It's really hard to have them come back in and try to mess with that. Mine would randomly withdraw consent, then give it back, fired one kids, then the nexts, then said they had to go to the one he picked. Meanwhile my kids kept going. He demanded to be involved because I was poisoning them in therapy. Basically he showed himself and that just made it easier for the therapist to understand what my kids were going through. Eventually he got sick of this tactic and moved on to the next thing. I hope yours does too. P.S. I agree with the mod who mentioned she could be worried about the therapist reporting the abuse in legal proceedings. All the more reason to continue. What app is this? Talking Parents. I blocked her phone number but just before that I sent her a link to sign up. I told her it was the only way I would communicate about the kids. Any other topics she tries to talk about or rants she does I ignore. I only check the app once per day to see if I need to respond to anything kid related. It absolutely kills her that she doesn't have a direct line to pull me into her arguments. In the beginning she asked on the app what's the point of this? I replied by attaching past texts she sent me like duck you are pathetic and you're such a dumbass, and I stated the purpose is to prevent texts like this. Her response, well those were sent weeks ago and I would have thought you would have gotten past them by now. I guess not. Keep digging. Just keep digging. Relief. Success. Divorce finalized last week. It's been a long hard road. A fair discovery last October led to me immediately filing, which led to the ex's true character showing. Gaslighting, blame shifting, verbal abuse, you name it, I endured it. So many times I felt hopeless and had no clue how I was going to get through it. It was breath by breath on some days. I made some mistakes during the process, but because of my close family and because of this community, I was able to stay level-headed and make good decisions. Stayed calm and in control. The ex made all kinds of threats about taking me for everything I have after I filed. The moment I chose not to listen to her BS anymore was the moment I gained control. Focused on me. It's said a lot here, but hit the gym, eat right, and get rest. I had plenty of moments of not wanting to get out of bed, but made the hard decision at times to just make myself do it. Focus on the kids. I did not tell them the reason we were divorcing. As much as I hated their mother for what she did, she is their mother. Even with them seeing her go off the deep end yelling and doing crazy shit in the process. Someone has to set an example on how to behave. They saw for themselves. Treasured friends and family. I had connected back with those that I hadn't been close with, and it was a bonus blessing in this process. I had to borrow money from my family, sell stuff, and get loans for my lawyer, but it was worth every penny. I got full custody of the kids, I'm keeping the house, and I'm not paying her a dime. We settled through mediation. We were in separate rooms, and the mediator saw right through her BS immediately. The relief I felt leaving that office was indescribable. It was hard on me carrying around the hate I had for her, which I had every right to feel, but that's not me. I'm seeing now that I can finally let it go and truly heal and move on. For those thinking about divorce, beginning stages, or in the thick of it, I truly hope you take care of yourself and know that if you're going through hell, just keep on moving. I can't thank this community enough, and especially those here that saw me through each step of the way. Thank you. All wonderful advice, very helpful to have it written out like this. How did you manage to get full custody? My kids were old enough to choose. After seeing my ex's actions over the past few months, it was an easy choice for them. Well done. Just a word of caution, they don't take well to losing. They don't set themselves up to win always, but losing really gets the narcissistic injury churning. Her not having custody of her kids will be a sore spot that will give a heads up to others that maybe take some time here. And that may mean that she tries to drag you back to court over and over until the kids age out. So keep a legal fund building until then. Be prepared and not financially stressed. They need to win. Badly. The win doesn't need to be financial. So happy for you and your kids, congratulations. So happy to hear. I am terrified of filing BC of the kids most likely being split between households, but trying to focus on stories like yours to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I got full custody of the kids, honestly, that's what counts the most. Hoping to reach that point shortly in mediation, which she opted for after the first court appearance. We'll see if that leads anywhere. Mine seems super entitled, however, so it will cost me a fortune. I admire your fortitude. You made my day. Scared. My very rough divorce was finally finalized a little over a month ago. Married 18 years, ex cheated, I discovered it and immediately filed last year. I've been working on me and doing really great, all things considered. I met this amazing woman while going through the process. I have been dating her for 2 months and lost count on the number of dates we've had. We see each other a ton and I have developed strong feelings for her. She is recently divorced as well and all feelings are mutual. She treats me better than my ex ever did, even on my ex's best day. I don't believe this is a rebound thing or anything like that. I did not plan to fall for anyone this fast. I wanted to date around and just have fun. But there is no one else I would rather be with. Our connection is out of this world. She talks about our future together. I've met her family, she's met mine. The thing is, we are both scared to death. She will try to bring up the DTR talk and either I stop her or she stops herself. We haven't said the L word, but it's on the tip of my tongue and I can feel it's on hers too. We say we are going to take things slow, but there is so much passion and feelings for each other that we can't help but to act on them. I'm scared to death of getting hurt or doing something to hurt her. She's scared of getting hurt or doing something to hurt me. I'm scared that we are scared. I'm scared that our fears will prevent us from moving into a serious relationship and more. How do I let it go and just enjoy having her in my life? Channel the YOLO vibe. And just ducking go for it. Given how new this is, maybe just go along how you are now. I read here that it is very quick for both of you, still sort of a honeymoon phase. The only way to know is spend some time, go a little distance, and see you both feel after some time, and life happens. Thank you for this. We are actually planning dinner at my place this weekend because I don't have my kids. I know we have a shot at something amazing together. We cherish each other so much because of what we've both been through and value each other because we treat each other the way we want to be treated. I get the honeymoon phase thing, but I truly believe this is the real thing. Taking that leap is scary, but not ever trying when I know it's real is even scarier. Too good to be true, or am I that lucky? Seeking advice. Just discovered this sub and wanted to get y'all's feel for this. I'm fairly recently divorced from an 18-year marriage. Ugly divorce, she cheated. I'm over it and I'm in a much better place. I had every intention of living a free single life for a while with no intentions of getting serious with anyone. But out of the blue I met someone. We've been dating for almost 3 months. Seeing each other at least every other day. I tried hard to go slow and hold back feelings, but everything just flows naturally. We are both coming off bad marriages. We both have 2 kids and both have full custody. I've met her kids, she's met mine, we've all had dinner together and it amazes me how it just works. She talks about long-term plans, about the logistics of making it all work. Our connection and chemistry is out of this world. We are both scared but at the same time can't stand to be away from each other. Is it really possible to be this lucky this soon? I feel I'm too invested as it is to slow down. How do I ensure neither of us gets hurt? I'm scared to death and excited for the future at the same time. It was a 25-year marriage in my case, so fortunately, my kids were grown up by the time we divorced. But that doesn't mean it's not hard for them. Their father has been fairly indiscreet about his adventures with new women, and I can tell that's confusing for them. Based on what you said here, I'll be interested to see where my adult kids are after we hit the 1-year anniversary of the divorce. I get it, I have those thoughts. But to be honest, I won't know unless I follow through and see what happens. My kids are my priority and I made sure they were comfortable. They were actually happy for me because they know the hell that I have been through. I'm going in with no expectations, but man, it feels right. Then enjoy yourself and good luck. At best, you'll come out of this with a new life partner. At worst, you'll be wiser another time. You never know. It's great that things are going so well. Enjoy it. Just make a promise to yourself that you won't make any big commitments/decisions for a year or so that you give it time to develop and to make sure it's not just the honeymoon phase talking. If you can promise yourself that, and keep your eyes open, don't ignore red flags if they start popping up, you are on the right track. Don't worry. Agreed. I'm not saying slow it down, but definitely sit back and enjoy for a good long while. Emo, introducing the kids after 3 months can be tough on them. I don't know, but your focus is on you. I also understand having full custody changes everything. Difficult to start a relationship and steadily see each other when the kids are always in the picture. I hope they are old enough to grasp the reality of the situation. It's not luck. It's just the way it is. I met my girlfriend shortly after separating from my ex after an 18-year relationship. I thought the exact same thing. And you know what, I stuck with it and stopped questioning myself. Here I am almost 3 years later and the situation is amazing. For me, and for our kids. Enjoyed the ride and don't question it. Thanks man, our kids are teenagers so they get it. I know I'm an overthinker. Congrats to you. Success story. Update. Just wanted to share my good news and happiness. The folks in this sub along with others have helped me through some tough times and it's much appreciated. I've fallen in love with the woman I've been dating and she's in love with me. We were both so scared at the beginning because we were both fresh off divorces. Scared it was a rebound, scared we would get hurt and scared we would hurt the other. But now those fearful feelings are gone and replaced with love and happiness. Sounds corny maybe, but I can't describe how much we connect. We both know from our past experiences what we don't want and what we want out of a relationship, and it fits perfectly. We talk at length about lessons learned in our past lives so that we make the most of what we have. For those that are looking for something or in the beginning stages of something, don't let fear stand in the way. This life is short and every moment needs to be enjoyed to the fullest. My only regret is that I've spent too much energy worrying and in fear of getting hurt when I could have just enjoyed every moment even more. Most people here have been divorced and went through terrible times. So use that experience to make the most out of what comes next. I'm sitting here with the biggest shit-eating grin right now. Thanks for such a positive, uplifting and encouraging post, and congratulations on meeting that person, the person we're all here seeking in whatever way would be right for us. You did it, D. Well, I'm gonna upvote you. Thank you. Haha, thank you, D. It's nice to hear success stories. It gives me hope that it's still not too late to find someone. I wish you and your partner all the happiness in the world. Thank you so much. Good to hear a positive outcome once in a while. I am 51M and going through a divorce now and have been surprised reading about all the craziness out there. Thanks. I think what happens is most folks only post about the problems and challenges out there. Craziness exists, sure, but I don't think it's the majority. Best of luck to you. It never will end as long as kids are involved. Divorce/custody. I have full custody of my kids. My ex-wife is required to pay me 25% of the kids' medical expenses. That's it. I could have gotten child support from her but elected to not, just to be done with it. I just wanted me and my kids out. The only contact I have is by email. I've blocked her on everything else. Kids and I are doing very well. They are thriving and I am happier than I have ever been. But each time I have to communicate with her by sending a receipt of a medical bill, I get a long tirade about how I'm damaging the kids by making her pay, and my hatred shines bright to the kids. She refuses to pay. My daughter, 17, has nothing to do with her, and my son, 15, only sees her every other weekend. They know the reality. As well as I'm doing, each time I have to interact by email it drains me and takes me back to the abuse. My lawyer stated that I needed to file a contempt of court. But again, is it worth my sanity? Medical bills add up, but I think I should just let it go so that I can totally break free. But then again, that's exactly what she wants me to do so that she doesn't have to pay anything towards her own kids' needs. What should I do? Take her to court. You've already been through the hard parts. This is just her guilt being clearly presented. You also needn't contact her throughout it. If she begins to harass you via email, or any other means, you can get a harassment protection order. There are many ways to make sure that she cannot legally bother you while also making sure you get paid. The situation seems very cut and dry. She's at fault. I don't imagine it being dragged out. Anxiety about next steps. Been with my girlfriend for over a year. Things are wonderful. We've started talking about our future and both get panicky and anxious over it. We feel we want to take some big steps forward but have no idea how to get there. And it causes me to feel like we are sort of stuck in limbo. She has teenagers and I have teenagers. They have all met and seem to get along, but they really don't know each other. The thought of bringing them all under the same roof is terrifying. What if they don't get along? What if they wind up hating each other? My home and her home are not big enough for us all. Neither one of us is in the position to sell and buy something else. We were both left with a ton of debt after our divorces. We both badly want to be able to wake up every morning together. To build a future together under the same roof. Sure, we knew the situation when we started dating. And logistically our situation is perfect for dating. We live close by, we stay over at each other's houses a lot because our kids are old enough to not need mom and dad all the time. When we want to see each other, it's always you coming over here or am I coming over there. It works. But we want our relationship to progress badly and it is so overwhelming to think about. I'm fearful that if we can't move to the next phase then it will come to an end. She sort of shuts down when we talk about it because it is so overwhelming. It scares me to think we have made it this far to not be able to get to where we want to be. The complexities of combining households and kids and finances seem so daunting. How do people do it? Why don't you keep going as you are doing now, which seems to be working, and perhaps move in together in a few years once the kids start going off to college? You can still spend most nights together as you are doing now, without the financial pressure and anxiety about the kids. Clearly this is making you guys super nervous, so it's not the right time. The complexities you speak of may actually end up damaging your relationship even more if you try to force things. I'd say move together when the timing is right, not because it's some kind of step you have to take to validate your relationship. Sounds like your wants are driving you and not your reality. Life isn't perfect and sometimes we don't get what we want. Maybe right now isn't your time to move in together. You can't afford a bigger home, you have kids that are established in their lives, and you both have debt. Seems like it's not a smart idea. What you have seems pretty good, so what's the rush? Wait until your kids are grown before moving in together. You seem to be stuck on the "I want to wake up with her," while ignoring all of the other negative consequences that may go along with living together. Just stay in your current holding pattern. Why are you fearful things will come to an end if you don't move in? To me, what you are describing is not possible financially, nor it is best thing for the kids, and 1 year isn't even a long time, especially since you haven't been separated much longer than a year and divorced less than a year. So work on reducing that anxiety and pressure, on both sides. Go to therapy if you need help. You got a good thing going on with such a close location and older kids. Focus on the positive. Once you get the anxiety, pressure reduced, see that excellent planning post. This post hit close to home. My situation has a few other complicating factors, but the big picture is the same and I get the anxiety you're feeling. I have decided to just let go of any expectations and enjoy the moment as much as I can, without so much planning as far as the future is concerned. I know in the end I'd get hurt if I started thinking I'm stuck in limbo, and it would affect how I viewed my relationship. There's a season for everything, and it sounds like maybe now it's not that season. What I found to make me stay sane was to allow the relationship to go through these tests: time, kids, finances, ex's boundaries, see how you both respond, and when and if the time is right, take it to the next step. Don't rush with expectations. That's the best of the problems if you have a nice relationship. Buying a home to combine households. Planning. Me, own my home. Value $310,000. Owe $250,000. Mortgage payment is $1,700. My fiancé owns her home. Value $325,000, owes $260,000. Mortgage payment $1,800. Neither one of our homes is large enough for us all. She has full custody of 3 kids, I have full custody of 2. What should we do? We have around $25,000 cash on hand combined for a down payment. Should we sell both houses for a large down payment? Rent out both houses? Can I get approved for a new higher mortgage while carrying my current mortgage? Homes are going for $500,000 here for the size we would need. Our current homes would sell or rent very very quickly in this area. What would you do? We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.